Hi, Cleveland County. Guess what? We're indoors. If we had decided to do our November show on a farm, we would have been rained out. But can you believe we plan to be inside at Press, which you can see the sign, and this is a coffee shop. I'm Deborah Blanton. I'm the host of your show, and come with me to the interior of Press. Well, hi again. We're with living people right now. I need to introduce you to Janae Johnson and her husband, Sean. Janae is from California. Sean is from Minnesota, which is close to South Dakota.
Yes. Best part of the country, isn't it?
Oh, we think so, although, listen, we've lodged here in North Carolina. I think it's a better part of the
We
country.
brought hardiness to the area.
Yes, we did. Well, and speaking of coming to North Carolina, can you tell us why you chose that from California and Minnesota? Janae?
We actually ended up here because I took a job. So I took a job with a company in Charlotte in 2017.
Okay.
And so that's what brought us to North Carolina. And then from there, we ended up here in Shelby in 2024 when we decided to expand our business.
And your business is, Sean?
Is Three Oaks Roasting Company and Press Coffee Lounge.
Okay. Which is very unusual for Cleveland County. Don't you all agree? This is just a surprising, innovative idea here. But you come more than just having a business. You come with goals and ideals for Cleveland County.
Absolutely, absolutely. A little bird told us right away when we moved here, and we met this little bird, that it was important to be a good citizen of the county. And we took that advice. And so we realized that when we came up here and one of our taglines or one of our qualities is roasting with roots. And
Roasting with
roots. Not like we're roasting roots for coffee
Right.
flavor, but that we are roasting with roots, establishing roots in our community.
Yes.
Yeah, so wanting to be rooted here, we also help with establishing the roots from our coffee growers. Every step along the supply chain, there is a community to be had. And here in Cleveland County, the coffee community is also really important to us.
Yes. We all need our coffee. Sean, based on what Janae just said, can you tell us about your travels in South America? Is that correct?
Yeah, so we've been to Mexico. The company kind of started when we took our first trip to Chiapas, Mexico, a few years back. About 3-4 years ago?
2021.
2021. We went down there with a bunch of people to go visit some coffee farms, visit an orphanage with a nonprofit organization. We went down there, checked out the coffee farms, just fell in love with it, roasted coffee right down the hill from where they picked the coffee, met the farmers, sat down and had dinner with them. And then we were on the plane flying from Chiapas back to Mexico City, and we decided we were going to start our little coffee company, and that's how it all started. After that, after moving to Shelby, we went to Columbia and met farmers down there. We're good friends with our importers. We're going back to Columbia next month to meet up with them again and just check in with our farmers and make sure everything's going good and continue our little trade that we do with coffee and money and community and making sure that they're getting the most money for their crops.
Yes.
So
Yes. Well, that is just so creative for us to go down to another part of the world, but still being able to sell that product up here.
You know, it's interesting because people will look at coffee, they enjoy their coffee every morning, but they don't think about the people behind it that are picking the coffee, growing the coffee. And when we knew that we wanted to do this, we wanted to make sure that one of our goals was to humanize coffee, to make sure that people understood that there are real people behind picking those cherries off of those trees.
Right.
And drying those cherries to become the beans that we love to roast and drink.
Right. And I don't know how many of our viewers have actually seen a coffee bean, and I know you have some around. So if we may just get some coffee beans that we can zoom in on and show people
Absolutely.
when they're drinking it, where it comes from.
The coffee beans right there.
I think also,
Has-
we're
has-
fortunate that Alexis came in today and we've got beans from his farm. So when we talk about being able to be directly involved with farmers, we just happen to have one today
Oh,
in the shop,
really?
who brought us some
Oh.
beans to sample and roast from his farm down in Panama.
Oh, how wonderful. Gracious. So,
this
well,
here-
we can view that. Well, yes. Oh, that's
So
perfect.
these here are raw coffee beans that come off the farm. That's a natural process right there. They pick the cherries off the tree. They either pull the pulp off of it, and it's called a wash process, and they lay them out on beds and they dry. Otherwise, they have a natural process where the cherries are picked and they're put on African drying beds, which is essentially like a screen to where air can flow through the cherries and let the cherry dry right on the seeds themselves, and that brings a lot sweeter cut. So here's the difference between a wash process and a natural process. You can just see how much different the fruit really impacts.
But they're
the
red
cherries.
to
So-
start with, am I correct? And that's
Yep.
the covering. That's the covering
Yeah.
on
It's a cherry.
on these. Yeah, I'm right, right,
actual
right, right.
cherry.
Okay.
And they actually taste nice and sweet when you pick them off the tree and eat them.
Oh.
They're really good. Now the seeds themselves are quite bitter, but the cherry itself is really great. Coffee plant takes about 2 years from when you plant it to start producing fruit, and the lifespan of a coffee plant is about 8 to 10 years.
Wow.
Then after that, they'll chop them down and replant and start all over again.
Oh, okay. So they just replant right where they
Yes.
had them growing before, and they probably rotate different fields
Yes.
so that they can make all that happen like simultaneously.
They always have a nursery going. So there's always a nursery on the farm that's got the younger plants, the seedlings, and the plants before they're mature enough to be able to put in the ground, stay in a little bit of like a greenhouse or an
Okay,
area that they
sure.
can be. Coffee, for the most part, needs to be shaded. And so that's a way to protect them. And then it gets rotated in.
Well, so what are we doing? What are we drinking here?
So I believe you're drinking Ethiopian, so you can pull your timer out the stick and go ahead and pour your coffee.
And I'm sorry, how do I do that? Oh, like that. Oh. And then we're pressing. We
Yes,
press
that's-
down.
Hence the name Press Coffee Lounge. We really want to do something different than the other coffee shops in town and do French presses and pour overs, kind of a slow pour method shop opposed to just coming and going, put your name in, grab your coffee and go. We want to
Okay.
build community in here.
That's another one
Right.
of our
Oh,
values
yes,
is
yeah.
community.
A lot
Yes.
of times people will come in here and sit down, not even know each other, and within 15 minutes they're having conversations and exchanging numbers, and that's just the beauty of this place.
Right, and it truly is.
Mm-hmm.
The girl at the end of the bar, I'm reading a book that she needs to read, but I have it checked out at the library,
Oh.
and she can't have it until I turn it back in. But she's involved in archaeology, and this book is
Mm-hmm.
about archaeology.
Yes.
So that is an example of your community.
Oh yeah, where did Lauren go?
Well,
I think she's up front.
Oh, yeah.
anyway. Well, listen, I would assume we're probably about at the end of this segment, but Sean, tell us where we're moving to.
We are moving to our new roasting facility out at Spinning Leaf Winery. We recently acquired Broad River Coffee Roastings from Seth Stevens. That's a mouthful. He's been roasting coffee since 2024.
No.
20.
Before
No.
He's been roasting coffee for 24 years. That's where
Right, 'cause he was in Boiling Springs, if any of you remember the coffee shop down in Boiling
Yes.
Springs.
So we recently acquired his company, and our company's really expanding and just taking off like crazy. So we're gonna go there next. You guys will be able to see coffee roasting on a large scale.
All right.
Oh, maybe we could take Alexi's beans and do a little sample right there on the little
Possibly.
roaster.
It does take about 45 minutes to do.
Oh, well, we don't have that long. But anyway, all right, well, stand by, and we're going to move locations.
She gets her hair from her mom, her eyes from her dad, and her drugs from her home medicine cabinet. Fact: more people die from drug overdoses than from car crashes or gun violence. And over 50% of those deaths are from prescription drugs. prescription drug abuse is preventable. 1. Secure and take regular inventory of our medications. 2. Dispose of unused or expired medications. 3. Share this message with others. Be aware, don't share, lock your meds.
Washington Outreach Ministries is one of the largest emergency food pantry in Cleveland County. We feed about 15,000 people a month. We have bi-weekly distribution every other Friday, and we serve them with all type of product, not just food product, but all type of necessities. Anything that they need, we have here and we can supply it. Food is available every day, but we offer bi-weekly distribution so the mass of Cleveland County can come through and enjoy some of the food products that we have here.
Someone once said that without music, life would be a mistake. And that's how we feel here on Face the Music. Hi, I'm Summer Castle-Keever, and I'd love for you to join me each month on our new program, Face the Music, which airs on C19 TV and C19.tv. Each month we'll highlight the talents, personalities, and stories behind some of the area's most gifted singers, songwriters, and musicians. It's going to be a lot of fun, so join me each month for a new edition of Face the Music right here on C19.
As Cleveland County's premier event facility, LeGrand Center is the ideal location for any event. The LeGrand Center is located 45 minutes west of Charlotte, 45 minutes north of Spartanburg, and just a little over an hour east of Asheville. Whether you're a small business looking for a place for an off-site meeting or a bride looking for that special location for her wedding, LeGrand Center is the perfect place for you.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for your patience. We had to transition like a distance. There were two things that I failed to tell you when we were at press. Number one is the address of press, which is 5 North Lafayette Street. And the hours, unfortunately, they're closed on Mondays because that's me. I want them to be there on Monday, but they're not. Give them a break. But your hours, Janae, are?
Tuesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay. And then you also mentioned that there were times when Sean was going to be there to talk.
Oh yeah, this is really exciting. So we're starting our Roaster Talk series. And what that means is that Sean will be up at press on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And he is there to answer any questions people might have about what he's roasting. He may be doing some samples and some tasters of some new things that he's creating here in the roastery.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. So we are in another building, and we are by this huge roaster. And Sean, since you're the magician here, you can talk to us about this roaster and what it does.
So this is a Mill City 30K roaster, so it can do a minimum of 40 pounds of coffee at a time with a maximum of 60 pounds of coffee at a time.
Okay.
Yep, it's a big production roaster. Over on the side you can put beans in the thing. It goes up the tubes, it automatically feeds the chute, and then you start cooking your beans. You usually drop the beans probably around 450 degrees into the roaster.
Okay.
It goes through various different phases. It does a yellowing phase and kind of a development phase. It does a crack to where the beans actually like pop open and crack, the gases are being released.
Okay.
Then your coffee is developing there. From the first crack to the second crack, you're looking at your light roast, your medium roast, and then after the second crack, you get into your darker roast as well.
Okay, so is that based on temperature, the different
Temperature.
light and dark and all
Yes.
that?
Yep, temperature and airflow and how long you roast it for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and each bean roasts a little bit differently.
And we have how many roasters here in the building?
We have 4 currently, and then I have, well, actually 5. I have a little sample
With the
roaster.
little one, okay.
Yeah, and then I have another one at home I need to transition over here. And so,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
We have all the roasters.
Well, I will say this is I mean, it's huge. It's got things piped outside.
Yes,
So, and I'm curious, does this area outside smell like coffee?
it does. When we do our dark roast, there's clouds of smoke that float over the top of the building or go down on the freeway. So
Oh.
I would imagine the people driving by in their cars are quite surprised, like, what is going on around here? It smells like coffee.
Because this is the Loop of the bypass that comes really, really close to where this
Yeah,
is.
and it just opened, so
Right.
see all the excitement
Well,
going up
good.
and down the freeway.
So, where would you pipe it in, or how do you get up there to put the coffee in?
So on the other side is an automatic fill machine. So you weigh your coffee out and you put it in that big hopper over there. You hit a button and it sucks it up into these tubes and it goes into that chamber up top, that big cone.
This, right?
Yep. And then when the roaster is at the proper temperature, it automatically opens the chute and puts the beans into the roaster. Inside the roaster is a big cast iron drum that turns at so many revolutions per
Okay.
minute. And then you just start cooking the beans from there. There are big flames that are underneath the roaster to heat the drum. And as the roast goes on, you start dropping your temperature, increasing your airflow, and kind of does a convection thing. And as the beans touch the side walls of the drum in there,
And
that's
we're
how they
talking
roast.
This.
Yes.
That's the drum.
Yep.
Okay.
And then when it's done, we hit a button and the door opens into this big tray down here, and it sucks air through the beans to cool them, and that's piped all outside, and yeah, and then your
Wow.
roast is done. Takes about
Wow.
15 to 20 minutes to do a roast anywhere from light to dark.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And then we bag it, and so I think we have some footage of the bag and the sealing of the
Yeah.
bags, and all that, plus all the different areas or different labels that you bag it under.
We have a lot, not only our own brand, but customers have their own private labels as well that we put on there. Sometimes it can be a little confusing on which label to use because a lot of them have different variations of different types of beans from different regions. If you want a ground, if you want a whole bean, anywhere from 2 pound to 12 ounce to 5 pound to 10 pound bags. Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of.
But it's the same beans and the same roaster.
Same beans. Well, not exactly the
Well,
same beans, but
good.
yeah. Beans
Okay.
from different regions from all over the world, anywhere
right.
from Peru to Brazil to Costa Rica to Mexico to Colombia and everywhere in between along the equator that grows coffee beans. So we get those in and roast them and sell them.
Yeah. And just maybe as for me thinking, coffee's only grown, as you said, around the equator.
Pretty much, yeah. It varies out a little bit north, but that's the optimum place to grow coffee. I mean, it all depends upon elevation and the constant temperature and the humidity. And
Okay.
yeah.
Because at the now, are we talking like really hot at the equator,
Not so much like in Colombia. They have a pretty average temperature in the 75. Yeah.
wow, that would be cold for this region. We got our coats on right now. Wow, well that's fascinating.
Yeah,
Goodness.
the coffee tree itself is a pretty fragile plant. So it can be susceptible to rust due to too much moisture. It's susceptible to heat, which is why a lot of it is shade grown. So it's a pretty fragile plant. So it needs that constant temperature, maybe a degree fluctuation here and there, but it wouldn't be able to handle major fluctuations in temperature.
And pests as well. We tend to pick coffee that's as organic as possible as well. So trying to control pests on farms with natural pesticides, like from byproducts from the coffee plants or manure from animals on the farm itself, and then create a natural product to use as a pesticide and a fertilizer at the same time. So yeah,
So we could call that your coffee as organic?
as organic as can be. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
in the various regions.
See, I hadn't even thought about that.
Many of our growers don't have the labels people look for. It's expensive, right? So we have micro lot farms. So these are smaller farms, smaller growers, and for them, having all the labels that go with it would just be really expensive. So they do all the practices of the organic and fair trade, biodiverse land, their land, but you might not see those labels on our packages.
Well, that is just fascinating. I hope you all have really learned a lot about what you love to drink. Who knew that all of this goes into a morning cup of coffee? And of course, you're open until 3 in the afternoon.
Yes.
So you can even have an afternoon cup of coffee
Absolutely.
as well.
We're putting together a half cap too. So if you want a little bit of caffeine but not as much, we're gonna be rolling out a half calf
Half
over
cap.
at Press.
What? You all are just thinking, you're so creative about all of this. And I know a lot of that is due to Janae from
Oh, yeah.
from where she comes from and what you did in real life. But you put all the grunt work and the thought process of the mechanical part, Sean. So anyway, you make such a great team.
Thank you.
This is
Thank
just
you.
exciting to be a part of this. Plus what you bring to Cleveland County.
Absolutely.
And your desire to make it a great place to live, a great place to learn
Yes.
about other things, and
Definitely.
just create a great, wonderful standard of living.
Yeah, we would love to invite our community out to have a seed to cup experience and learn more about coffee. Our family has also joined us in moving here. So our older son and daughter-in-law and our grandson are now here. So we are really building some pretty deep roots in this community and making it a family affair.
Well, as a citizen of Cleveland County, I want to thank you for what you're bringing here. And
you, Deb.
folks, you all can come by and thank them personally. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned a lot about what we have now here in Cleveland County, an international group for the coffee drink that you love. Thank you.
Welcome to Meet Me at the Movies. I am Noel T. Manning II, hanging out with a bunch of cool folks.
Like Glenn from The Walking Dead.
The Critics' Choice Scholar. Christian is not with us this week because he was smart.
Tim, how are you doing back over there on the Tim Cam?
Tim Cam.
Love is eternal.
Love is eternal.
Knows no date.
It knows no date. Keep
Which means we can run this more than once.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Oh, look at he's celebrating.
He's celebrating.
Ragnarok. Was there a band called Striper?
Yes.
So there was?
Yes, absolutely. I have no idea. I just made that up.